Hello there, hello and welcome to Lunchtime Live with me, Stuart Morrison, and my sidekick,
Gareth.
It depends how people have got us on their screen.
That's it. To be honest, I'm not sure. I'm not 100% convinced on this whole sidekick malarkey.
Are you not? What would you prefer? What would you prefer?
I don't know. I'll have to have a think. Well, we'll open it up to the audience.
Okay,
They can decide.
Yeah. So if you have a name, because I was thinking it was like Batman and Robin, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
If you've got an idea of what a lovely name that I can use to introduce Gareth with, keep it clean, family show and all that. I wanted to address something. Somebody asked me this question. In fact, two people asked me this question, and one of them was an email. They've asked me why it's called SiGNAL Radio.
Yes.
And look, you can see we've decked ourselves out with a SiGNAL Radio graphic. Thanks to Gareth. He jumped on Canva. How easy is Canva?
Easy.
It's easy peasy, isn't it?
Easy.
Much easier than Photoshop. I love it. But yes, the reason that we're called SiGNAL Radio is my idea for this entire thing was that at 12 o'clock, most people are sort of winding down for lunch. They don't want to have to be glued to their TVs, their monitors, to watch what's going on. So if we made the visuals as boring as possible, but kept the sound like chat radio, it would work. So that's the point. If we do share something that is visual, then it will be sporadic and few and far between. So it's all about some banter and some chat, and to keep it live and light at lunchtime. So welcome to SiGNAL Radio. Look, we've decked out our studio.
Trying to go which way I have to go.
Everybody's getting used to Zoom. Everybody. But it's really incredible how music seems to be getting everyone through the lockdown. I've spoken to a lot of people, and they've all been saying how, you know, they've been listening to mixes by Rob the Bank and Fatboy Slim, just, you know, loads of stuff. So what have you been listening to? Any music?
Yeah, lots. I mean, you know, I'm a very avid person of listening to music. I can never just sit in silence anyway.
Yeah, you go into SiGNAL when it's like a rave.
Yeah, well, this is it. You know, it's all about Party Central. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm constantly listening to music, and it's definitely helping. I have to have some kind of background noise. So when I'm doing the cleaning or making everyone else do the cleaning for me, then I'll put the music on to keep them motivated.
So yeah, it does. It lifts the mood, doesn't it? It really does. If you're feeling a bit down, put on something a bit energetic and upbeat. So I had a quick look on Spotify, and did you know that as of March the 3rd, there were more than 65 songs with coronavirus in the title on Spotify?
Wow.
People that, haven't they? And there's so many mixes. And
so many
mixes. And this was the best of COVID-19 playlist that I found, and it's hilarious. So there's the Macarona.
Like it.
There's Physical by Olivia Newton-John.
Right, yeah.
Staying Alive by Bee Gees.
Yeah.
Dr. Beat by Miami Sound Machine. Miami Sound Machine. Toxic, Britney Spears.
Yeah.
I Want to Hold Your Hand by the Beatles. And my all-time favourite, and I think it's the coronavirus anthem, You Can't Touch This by MC.
Yes.
So if you've got any fantastic song puns or songs you're actually listening to that are getting you through, stick them in the comments, let us know, and we'll share it with all of our listeners. Anyway, moving on. We've got a guest this week. We've got somebody who is genuinely a really nice guy who owns a load of pubs. So he's a really good guy to know.
Yes.
So, but unfortunately, the pubs, you know, they're all shut at the moment. So we're going to ask him about that, what they're doing to cope. He runs Red Mist Leisure. Ladies and gentlemen, please pay attention and give your warm regards to Mr. Julian Clark. Hey!
Hello!
Hey,
Hello!
I've passed the test. I've made the technology work for me. I mean, you know, my mum, who's just approaching, well, just over her 70s, has introduced me to Zoom. So it's definitely something that I've learned in this lockdown.
Fantastic.
It's skipped a generation. My daughter's on it, my mum's on it. I wasn't.
Well, welcome. Well done for that. If you've got a teenager nearby to rush in, just in case there's a...
Unfortunately not, no. But yeah, thank you for inviting me. Nice to see you both. It's been a few weeks since we've been together in the same room. It might be a few more weeks before we are as well.
Absolutely. And actually today, it's really coincidental that you're on, because BBX would it have been today?
No, so it's the second Tuesday of every month. Tuesday. So not this coming, so like 2 Tuesdays.
On a Tuesday, we gather at your pub in Linford, the Royal Exchange, at 7:30. And we have networking. We have somebody from the community come in and tell us about the project or what they're up to, or an interesting speaker. And it's thanks to you, because you've generously donated the space, the breakfast, and it's wonderful. But with the current situation, what's going on? You're all shut.
So, well, obviously, I suppose things changed dramatically just over 6 weeks ago, didn't they? And I think it started on the Monday. Boris, in his daily briefing, said sort of avoid pubs. We sort of put our head in our hands because we certainly hadn't seen that coming. And then over the course of the week, we watched the briefings, we watched our business change rapidly. And obviously then the lockdown commenced. Mark, who's the managing director, sent out an email on the sort of Friday just to gauge opinion as to whether, if we were to put a delivery service together, you know, was anyone interested? And I think his inbox just went from, you know, 0 to sort of a couple of thousand in 10 minutes. So yeah, we worked on obviously a plan of closing our pubs down, and we were left with a lot of stock. There's still an awful lot of stock out there. And by about, I think it's about Tuesday, Wednesday of the first sort of full week of lockdown, we introduced the Red List grocery delivery service, which was probably, say, 6 weeks ago, a little bit more basic as to where it is now. It's all very manual, Excel spreadsheets, lots of.
So yeah, I was gonna ask about the delivery. What is it you're actually delivering? Are you delivering alcohol?
Yeah, so we're up to about 180 lines now. So and I suppose principally, you know, besides providing a service, what we want to do is support our local suppliers as well by creating I suppose, a hub to deliver out to people, not just the bare essentials, but something a little bit different. And obviously, alcohol is within that. You know, Tilford Brewery, we're working with General Wine Company from over at Lip Hook. We're using, you know, some of the local gins as well. So it's just trying to, we're a bit of a hub and bringing it all together and then delivering it out. But it starts with, you know, fresh fruit and veg down to dairy, down to fresh meat. Last week we introduced asparagus from Petersfield from called Slade Farm.
It's asparagus. So yeah.
Yeah, and then we've introduced rhubarb from Hartley Whitney this week. And I suppose the nice thing is, it's getting back right down to the basics of running a business, and I've really enjoyed that. You know, talk to these small independent suppliers, and I mean, the majority of what we're doing is working with individual owner-operator businesses, and we're all benefiting. Hopefully, customers are benefiting because they're getting this great fresh produce. And I suppose we're helping these businesses continue, because I think a lot of their traditional areas to sell weren't in existence, and that crop would have gone to waste, and ultimately their businesses might not have survived. So yeah, it's interesting. I'm really enjoying it. It's bloody hard work. I'd say, sorry, can I say bloody? It's hard work. I think, you know, we're all pretty much on the floor. We've got very strict social distancing. I mean, we're very fortunate where our office is. We sit on top of a warehouse.
Just give people a quick view of your office, because he's spun his camera around, and I know that I've just said no visuals, but I've got to show you his pool table. Look at that
I know. I'm so jealous about the pool table.
I'll put that on the list, Gareth.
Well, yeah, I think that definitely needs to go onto the list for
SiGNAL.
SiGNAL, 100%. I don't think I'd get any work done though. That's the problem.
No. Well, the thing to say is, Gareth, if things don't get any better, we might be able to sell it to you. So we could probably do a good price on that. There's various things in the office, but we moved to this office 4 years ago, so we're just off the Cotsbridge Island, and we put this mezzanine level in, and we set over a warehouse, and it's been a godsend. I mean, it's got 2 doors, 2 high roller doors, goods inwards one way, distribution for another. So we've been able to, obviously fulfil complete social distancing, and because there's obviously a number of suppliers coming here each day, and obviously make sure everything leaving the warehouse and those that are working in it are safe and protected, really. So
it's really good to hear that those protections are being in place. Can I just go back to, you mentioned that you're delivering it out to local businesses. Can you give us some examples of, and can anybody sort of phone you up and get a delivery? How does it work?
So how it works is, so we really worked on our database initially, that we send out about Thursday every week an email with that week's list. We try to make sure the list changes every week, so so a bit of interest in there as well as the staples. We've put it on our Facebook pages. Sophie very kindly obviously works with us on the BBX Day. She's at home and she's sort of putting on Instagram, Facebook, etc. And we will go down. We'll pretty much go anywhere. We'll prostitute ourselves anywhere. But we're going over as far as Basingstoke. We go over to Four Marks. We go to Hazelmere, into Epsom, and so we're probably fulfilling our sort of geographical spread as far as where our pubs go. And as we've got, I suppose, more confident, better, then we've been able to push further field, and we also really try and prioritise NHS workers, frontline workers, those that are vulnerable. Besides just fulfilling general orders. I suppose you can't not read some of the very difficult stories that come in on emails and requests as well. So it's a real mix of, I suppose, requirement that's out there from those with families at home who just want to really protect their isolation to those which are genuinely in need and sort of can't get to the shops. And it's we're very lucky. As tough as it is, I still feel extremely lucky, and I'm glad that we can help in some kind of small way, as well as people helping our business to continue.
I've been to a few of your pubs now, and there's always a really welcoming atmosphere. I know you've worked on that, but the food is just incredible. You do vegan food. You do. Gareth, have you eaten? We've eaten a SiGNAL at the Royal Exchange, but have you been to any of the other pubs?
Yeah, so I've been to the Royal Exchange just myself, with a friend who lives in Linford, and that's where we meet and go. And I've been to the castle just after it. In fact, I've been to the castle quite a few times, I must say. Love the food. I am very much missing the food, I must say. The bacon rolls at BBX. That's a killer.
The gluten-free pies, they're really, really good. Really good, like proper pie.
And they're on our list, Stuart. The gluten-free vegan pies, you can order those, and we've got vegan meatballs on our list. So again, we've tried to, I suppose, with our list, we try to replicate some of what people really love in our pubs, as well as providing some of the staples. And it's interesting because obviously no one knew how long this making due to go on, and actually we're going back to a lot of our suppliers. And in fact, the people that we work with on the gluten-free sort of products that we do, I know he's been spending a lot of time refurbishing his kitchen. They're based in Stoke-on-Trent, a guy called Tom. And so he's refurbished his kitchen during the lockdown. I think thought this would be normal after a few weeks, possibly like we all did initially. And then it's gone on, so they've been working on NPD, new product development, over that time. So actually I've started to see a few things come through from them. So it's exciting to see how they've used the spare time, which I suppose, all being honest, quite often you don't have that time, do you, to reflect and look at what's going on in your business. And that is possibly a bit of the new norm as well, isn't it?
I think it's going to be great. In retrospect, in hindsight, when people look back, we're getting lots of inquiries about help with websites. You know, we're going to do this, we're changing that. You know, traffic is down, so we've got a chance to do all these things that, you know, that we can do. And it's certainly, as you said, Julian, a chance to examine your business and get really comfortable with how it operates, the nuts and bolts of it, and the numbers. And you said that you've been enjoying going back to basics. How the rest of the team been handling it?
How the rest of what? Sorry, the team.
The team, yeah. You know, I know Mark and that. How have they been coping?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose I was just saying to Gareth, I think the calluses have now started to heal over because of obviously the anti-bac gel was really ruthless on your hands. But you know, unfortunately, I suppose the majority of our team are furloughed. That is, you know, the one thing, and that's sad. But we're keeping in touch. Yeah, certainly, Mark is. You know, whether we're posting on our Facebook page or emailing out, and Vanessa, you know, we're keeping in touch with people because we hope at some point, and you know, things will start to change. And then, yeah, there's just a few of us on the ground. Julia, our FD, actually lives next door to Royal Exchange. She's working remotely, obviously on the commercial side, and we're very much on the ground. I mean, the day generally starts with unloading the deliveries. I'm usually first in, and Mark will go and fuel the vans, and then Mark will come in. He'll start to pick orders. As the order summary gets finished, then I will generally Google Map 90 postcodes to plan for the following day. It get a bit snowblind with Google Maps, and I wish that I knew a smarter way, and I'm sure there is a smarter way, but it is all very rudimentary. But you know, it's good. It's keeping us active, and you know, it's helping us and others. So
we've had quite a few members of the hub and SiGNAL pivot successfully. Hogwarts Distillery are producing two products. They're producing a hand sanitizer, and a what is it?
It's a gin. It's called Your Gin Credible.
That's what I'm trying to remember. Yes.
Yeah. And basically, so they're selling this gin, and then basically £10 from every bottle sold is being donated to NHS charities.
Oh, that's fantastic. I should look into that then. I wasn't aware of that. So,
yeah, they've literally only just sort of launched it, and I mean, I love the name as well. Your Gin Credible. I think that is a fantastic. Fantastic name. But yeah, so that's sort of just been launched. I think they were waiting for some more of the alcohol to come in to finish distilling.
Okay.
Yeah, no, definitely get in contact with them over that, because
we can get you Pauline's number, definitely. It's we've got another member who understands about, you know, the hand washing and that, and drying out and that, and she's an aromatherapist, and she'll make you an individual hand moisturizer with scents for you specifically.
That's
brilliant. I love how, and that's one of the things for me for entrepreneurs, how quickly people have responded to it. That initial kind of almost gut punch of your business is now just stopped to, well, what can we do? And like SiGNAL, like yourself, like many of them, that energy is actually, there's something about that energy.
Do you know what? I agree, and I don't want to be that, you know, stereotypical cheese man here, but you know, the saying, you know, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, couldn't be more true. I think, you know, a lot of businesses are going to come through this, and at the end be in a stronger position to offer more products, or even just have a sort of a stronger foundation of their business. So, you know, as cheesy and, you know, new agey as it is, you know, I think it is true.
I think especially if you've got a team as well. I think that, you know, that adversity, that binds you as a team, or it certainly shows up the cracks if you're not a team.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. I mean, I suppose it highlights those who you would like to go to war with, who'd be stood alongside, definitely. And I think the other thing is as well, you look at customer and consumer behaviour. I mean, I'm doing the ordering generally, and it is a bit like Russian roulette. I mean, availability around, I mean, things like flour and yeast. I mean, we've turned into a nation of bakers again. I mean, we cannot get 1.5 kilo or 3 kilo flour bags now.
Wow.
The reason being is not that the flour, the bread flour is not available. It's the fact that the supplier has used a year's worth of bags in 9 weeks, so is now waiting for those to be reproduced. And we now order in 16 kilo bags, and people buy them. And you know, I think again, there will be trends and people will come out the other side of this, and when the time is right and when social distancing allows, when people hopefully venture back into pubs, I think we'll see a change in eating habits generally as well. I think this has been a period of reflection, not only for businesses but for consumers, and possibly some of what we've caused and the way that we need to change our behaviours going forward, and how we need to be more respectful of the world that we live in, really.
Yeah, my teenage daughter has taken up baking. We haven't had so many banana breads and cookies and muffins and carrot cake and you name it. She's been churning it out, and she's even started a sourdough mother, which takes quite a lot of tending. It's like
she's feeding it every day.
Yeah, every day
Yeah.
she has to do this thing, and for 20 days before she can actually make the sourdough. So
yeah,
I think it's a lesson in patience as much as anything else. It's great.
Well, obviously, there's nothing more frustrating than taking an order from a customer and not being able to fulfil it. And again, that's always a battle that, we're taking orders on the premise that stuff is going to arrive from suppliers, and every day we're ordering. It's a very sort of live and dynamic situation, not because you're trying to keep your stock holding nimble. It's about what's out there. And I had a confirmation email this morning to say yeast is back in stock, and there was actually a bit of a bit of whooping going on in the office. Yeast is back in stock. So yeah, it's funny again how the small things bring smiles now.
Well, thank you very much for joining us and updating us, Julian. We're going to move on to the local news right now. So any news reports you've got. So just Gareth, I'm just going to share with you my latest news jingle.
Okay.
But before we do that, just give us a round of applause for Julian. Way! Yay!
Thank you.
And here we're straight into the local news. Here is the news. They leave it running underneath, don't they? Just like that.
Just like that. Yeah.
So I've got the local newspaper here. Our wonderful friends at the Farnham and Borden Herald are keeping the news coming out. I mean, it's a testament to Colin and his team. Talk about teamwork. I mean, getting a newspaper out can't be easy on the best of times. So I'm really pleased to be able to pick up the local copy of the paper, and do if you are looking locally, do pick up a copy of the Herald, because they have done an amazing job of documenting some of the outstanding efforts. I mean, Borden Buddies, from nowhere to where they are right now.
Yeah.
Hats off. Seriously, have you heard about them, Julian?
I haven't. No.
The little local group that have come together to help people, from phone calls and picking up, dropping off shopping to the food bank. They even had a visit from Damien Hines last week, but they didn't let that get in their way.
He used to be in the pub business, you know that?
Oh, did he?
Yeah, many years ago. Yeah,
he his way around a kitchen then. Fair dues. But yes, there's a lot of really feel good stuff. I mean, we've been printing PPE headbands and laminating things. We've got a load more to do. Is it Badgerwood?
Yes. Yeah, Badgerwood Surgery.
Badgerwood Surgery is where we've been dropping them off, and they've been sort of feeding it out into the care worker community. It's just been a heroic effort by the local community. I think it may even repair some of the damage that perhaps Brexit had done. People are now talking about how they can help each other rather than what's keeping them differences. But there was one news story that caught my eye in the slightly wider region. The Portsmouth news had. Oh, no, it was the BBC, sorry. The BBC reported that a pilot has been arrested after his NHS flight path tribute. And he flew in the shape of the letters NHS with his flight path from Blackbush Airport.
Right.
And they said that they're gonna investigate. I mean, you know, as help goes, I appreciate it, but there's one guy who's been doing raves in his street. So he sets up in the street and he's got the light show, and he's had NHS Saves Lives projecting onto his neighbours' houses. That's fantastic. Would you fancy going to a neighbourhood rave, Julian?
Well, it's funny you should say that, because obviously, yeah, coming out and clapping on Thursday night is again one of those wonderful things that have come out of this. And actually, I met neighbours that I never knew, prior to this. But our daughter said to us only last night, "Why can't we have a concert in the street?" And I hadn't heard about this, but I could be spinning the decks. In fact, I could be looking like Gareth, a beanie and some what do they call those things?
Headphones.
I think there's a better, more funky name for me to get down with the kids. Yeah, that could be me. In fact, I wonder whether you could get me one of those shirts and post them to me, because I think I would look well cool on the decks.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, it's a slight disappointment with the wardrobe. I big upped everybody about my new suit today, and it's not arrived. I should have known better than to rely on express delivery during this current situation. It's so that'll have to wait. So
yes.
Well, fingers crossed for next week. I've ordered a slight departure from my usual repertoire. So
brace yourselves, basically, everyone. Just brace yourselves. But yeah, it's quite funny. So I actually saw this thing to do with people sort of, showing their appreciation for the NHS, and there's a local company. I won't name who they are. There's a local company that put a massive sign up in their window, basically, thank you, and then like the letters NHS. The problem is that the N and the S fell down, so it just says thank you H, and loads of people have been going crazy saying, thank you H, and to the rest of Steps who are supporting us all in this time. Really made me chuckle.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Excellent. Another news story, slightly tied to our opening chat about music. Shakira, the international pop sensation Shakira, has featured a local police officer singing in her latest video.
Oh.
That must be bizarre, isn't it? You wake up one day and suddenly you're in Shakira's pop video. I don't know how that happens, but apparently police officers are now using TikTok. How old do I feel? Do you know about TikTok, Julian?
Well, I have in the last couple of weeks had to make my debut on TikTok with the daughters. On Sunday we were doing something. I think it went something like this.
Oh yeah.
Do you know the one, Gareth?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So yeah, if I haven't had 1 million hits after this, I'll be most disappointed.
Well,
yeah.
That brings us to the end of another Signal Radio Lunchtime Live. Thank you so much for joining us today, Julian, and sharing the good news about what Red Mist are up to. When the lockdown is finally over and we finally are allowed out of our houses, I'm sure people will be running into your pubs, throwing money at people and saying, just, give me a good time. I'm fed up with sitting drinking a can of lager on my own. But enough.
We look forward to that when everyone's safe.
Yeah, when everyone's safe. So thank you so much, Julian.
No, thank you.
Thank you very much, Gareth. Here's my play out jingle. Oh, it's not played. Hang on.
Thank you for listening.
Lovely.
Thank you so much, everybody. Leave comments below if you'd like this, if you want to hear any more or know any more about deliveries. We'll be sharing the distilleries details as well. And we'll see you next week for another Lunchtime Live. See you, Gareth. Bye-bye, Julian.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.